What's going on, Luminators? You juggernauts, you powerful and unstoppable, you bright ones. You observers, self-observing. What your deal is, observing everything. Participators and determinators. I love that. Imagination, desire, intention. Get rid of the corrupt stuff. Bring in the good, in the love frequency, right? The highest frequency. Hope everybody's doing well. Again, Boston C here, above the sun.io, live above the sun. Release what you get there, here below the sun. Speaking of which, just got back from the future. Bitcoin in the portal, we're going up. Going to read a short article about Bitcoin for generational wealth. How do you do that? But before I do, just again, hope everybody's doing well. Be whole and complete. You're overcomers and you got this. Right? So get off the cross. We need the wood. Everybody's got to have a funny bone, right? Got to have that sense of humor. Always be thinking 75 and a 55. So keep up. Let's go. I'm going to read an article, do a little screen share. Haven't even looked at what's going on with Bitcoin today. I know we should be over 30,000. So, and Boston C got in at the end of 2017. So I guess I'm an OG. And yeah. So just want to help anybody and everybody get on the 24/7, 365 Bitcoin train. You notice I didn't say anything about old coins or anything like that, not having a go. I mean, I've done them all. Yeah. Done good. Get your face ripped off. Yeah. Lots to talk about, but today we're just going to focus on one thing. So let me do a screen share, and then maybe I'll just go look at the market real quick. All right. So what are we going to do here, Boston C? Let's just read the article. What do you got right here? Let's share it. Small one. I think it's 5 minutes. You guys, everybody okay? You need a hug? All right. Love being part of the Vibe tribe. So here we go. Bitcoin Magazine. Kudos to them. Love these guys. Future-proof inheritance. Why Bitcoin holds the keys to my will. So everybody needs to have a will, no matter how young you are. I don't have to go into all the reasons why things have changed the last couple of few years. But it's all good. No worries, no anxiety, no fear here. Especially not here. Living above the sun. That's where it is. We'll talk more about that. All right. To me, it all comes down to building a legacy and playing a part in the future of Bitcoin, even from beyond the grave. I'm not dying. I'm staying, by the way. But Santana Deun, 100 years you live. I'm not dying. I'm staying. You shouldn't have told me that. I asked that question to my mother when I was 7. She didn't give me an answer. Love her. It's all good. And but yeah, went on a journey. So here it is. Full circle. So this is an opinion editorial by Constantine Robin, a finance and technology writer. Death is not something that many people like talking about all too much. Death isn't really what you think it is anyways, but anyhow, it's way overrated. But it is crucial to sit and have a good think about what will happen to all of your earthly belongings when the inevitable eventually happens. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but it's everything is here's a key along the way. Tribe, write this down. Character. It's all about character. That's the only thing. That's your name. That's your identity. It's just a matter of whose character you're functioning in. Ooh. Despite its importance, a 2021 study found that less than half of all adults in the U.S. have a will set up at all. Get a will. Write it down on a napkin, put it somewhere have a couple people sign it, witness it, whatever. No, just do it the right way. Well, many are too scared of thinking about it, living in fear. Not good. Get out of that fear deal. Stop feeding the malevolence. Yeah. A large number of people simply feel that they lack the know-how for setting one up or want to wait until they have children before they feel the need to sort out their afterlives. And everybody's got a different story, but this is just, it's like a little seed. We're going to grow a little edible flower. I love edible flowers. Over the last year or so, I decided to have this will discussion with myself. That's always a good thing. And after much thinking and many hours of research, the answer for the best method of inheritance to establish in my own will seem obvious. Coin. I read a book, Family Fortune by Bill Bonner. Came out of an online conference I was listening to. Doesn't matter, but it was great. They threw out the book. I read it. Said one thing. How do you develop generational wealth? You take a big position in a big trend and you leave it alone for a long time. Okay. So you can do a little speculation, you can do a little trading, swing trading, day trading, whatever, but investment, never, ever sell. You get some yield, just enjoy the asymmetrical roller coaster up hockey stick. Yeah. All right. So he's going Bitcoin. Boston C's going in Bitcoin. As things stand in the world today, you are bound to end up with issues if you don't set up a will. Listen up. Let's say that you kick the bucket tomorrow without an inheritance plan drawn up. The first thing that might happen is that all of your assets could be frozen until the courts take their sweet time digging through every detail of your estate. This alone can take from several months to several years, depending on where you live and the assets that are in your name. If you were married and died intestate without a will, your spouse might end up having to find an executor, which often costs a lot of money. And then comes the months of paperwork and infighting with long lost relatives who might suddenly start showing up at your doorstep. How you doing, Bobby? Yeah, it's Uncle Frank. Along with all of this drama could come the tax man, ready to act as the grim reaper of the assets you leave behind, often taking a huge percentage of your life savings. Yeah, because they want you to always pay in the VIG. That's why we've been living in this Ponzi scheme. Don't get me going. All right, Boston C, easy, settle down. Yeah. It's all going to be made right. Is that right, Boston C? Yeah, it's all good. It's all going to work out. Justice, judgment, grace, and mercy. It's all functioning. Yeah, it's good. Just trust the process, man. Stop whining. Be funny. With all this in mind, setting up your will with BTC can solve many problems for those who leave behind in the land of the living. Everything's actually land of the living, the seen and the unseen, but conversation for another time. I will be going through some of my thoughts on this and explaining exactly why I decided to set up my will with Bitcoin. Advantages of Bitcoin over traditional assets. To me, it all came down to two aspects, with the first being accessibility. With physical assets, you end up having to do more than just paperwork when passing on your property after death. Whether it's gold bars, a cellar of investment-grade whiskey, or expensive paintings, there is a certain level of expertise needed to move these items from one place to the next and then to look after them properly. Kind of problems you want to have, but you get the point. Here, Vibe Tribe. Just vibe with me. Bitcoin solves this for me. Me too, bro. Here you have an asset that doesn't need anything other than a 256-bit long combination to be accessed globally without your next of kin having to wait months to gain access to frozen accounts. This combination can hold all of the value that I wish to pass on without the need for any fancy temperature-controlled room or 2-ton safe. This way, value can easily be transferred to and accessed by beneficiaries across the globe without the need for intermediaries. I like it. The other aspect of BTC that makes it good to use as an inheritance device is the privacy aspect. We all know that Bitcoin blockchain technology is as safe as can be, thus eliminating any security risks. What about privacy? Sure, it might be possible to track who owns BTC. Don't have a problem. If you know who a wallet belongs to, but as with most of us, hodlers, holders, long-term, generational wealth, we tend to keep things on the down low. So BTC offers security, accessibility, and privacy, but it also occurred to me that there might be some issues with this scheme. So I got to listing them and thinking each one through. Everybody good? Need a hug? Want to take a break? Just put me on pause and come back. I'm not going anywhere. The challenges and risk of transferring Bitcoin. Security seemed a no-brainer with respect to keeping my stash of coins safe for those I want to leave it to. But then again, how does one transfer said coins or pass a wallet on in a safe way? Great question. Setting up a smart contract will execute upon your demise seemed to be the perfect solution. But then Elon Musk started those human trials with his brain implants, so this idea might still be a few years off. Yeah. Know-how. So you might be thinking, go old school, get a safety deposit box at a normal bank to leave your private key in a well-protected spot, and include instructions in your will that will make the situation clear to those you leave behind, or whoever where the box is, that they can walk in and confiscate your box and do a bail in. How about that? Easy, boss, and see. All right, I'm good. But even then, there is a certain amount of technical competence that will be required for your beneficiaries to be able to navigate the intricacies of Bitcoin ownership. Using BTC has become significantly more straightforward than it was back in 2010. But it still requires a level of technical understanding, which can pose a challenge for heirs who may not be familiar with cryptocurrencies. The solution here is obvious. Educate your people about the glories of Bitcoin before you end up 6 feet under. Yeah, we get back to an all-time high. Yeah, you're going to, yeah. Value and distribution. Bitcoin's price fluctuations might be something that could scare people off from even considering this asset as a store of value that can be passed on. But there is no doubt in my mind that one day, even a single Satoshi will be worth a pretty penny. That would be awesome. How about $1 per Satoshi? Ooh, 100 million Satoshis for one Bitcoin, if you didn't know that. The problem comes from the fact that while I am still alive, I want to continue using crypto exchanges to trade and add to my supply of Bitcoin. So how can you ever evolving Bitcoin stack be evenly divided after my death? Well, this is really quite simple. Just allocate a percentage of your coins to each beneficiary. This way you can keep adding to your nest egg, and it doesn't matter how many coins you have or how volatile the market might be. The right percentage will make it into the right hands. Tools for Bitcoin inheritance planning. Okay, so in my dive down the BTC rabbit hole, I did manage to find a few tips and tools that should be helpful when planning what happens to your stuff once you enter the eternal rest. Let me just briefly touch on 2 of them. Multi-signature wallets. This one is perfect for those who are scared that one of their relatives will try to swindle the rest or something like that. You get family drama. You get triggers everywhere. One way you might use multi-signature wallets can be in your lawyer and beneficiaries each having to authorize a transaction in order for it to be carried out. This added layer of security can be an easy way of setting up your will without going through too much technical trouble. For me, this multi-signature wallet approach is a fantastic idea and one I have already implemented. Okay, I like this one. Bitcoin estate planning services. Believe it or not, I wasn't the first person to think of this. Specialized Bitcoin estate planning services are out there, and they offer solutions to securely manage and transfer Bitcoin holdings after you breathe your last. These services can help a ton by providing expert guidance and reducing the risk of loss or mishandling of the Bitcoin by those who are not too clued in with blockchain technology. While I personally see the value in these services, it's just not my cup of tea. I venture to say you're probably a younger bro. That's okay, man. Yeah, it's all good. No matter the path you choose to implement a BTC will, one thing that should always accompany your last will and testament is a dossier of comprehensive documentation giving clear instructions on all your wishes. Clear documentation is essential, and the more concise the instructions, the less room will be available for interpretation and arguments from beneficiaries. Lastly, I went over 5 minutes. It's all right. You'll be all right. Love you guys. You guys are so good. So quiet. Impact of Bitcoin as a legacy. To me, it all comes down to building a legacy and playing a part in the future of Bitcoin, even from beyond the grave. Democratizing wealth is the perfect way to help push the ideas of a better world through blockchain technology and BTC forward. And by incorporating it into my will, I feel like it helps this cause along. I will always aim to promote financial inclusivity and would like to empower my ears. Focus on someone else instead of yourself. Character. Stank, come on. It's in there. You're in there. Nobody's having a go at you. It's all good, man. There's a seat at the table. We're waiting for you. I always aim to promote financial inclusivity and would like to empower my ears with exposure to a transformative asset that has already and will continue to shape the world into something glorious. Supporting Bitcoin in this way also aligns with my belief in the potential of decentralized technology to reshape the future of finance and society as a whole. By choosing Bitcoin as a legacy, I hope to, at the very least, spark conversations about digital assets, educate my ears, inspire them to explore the opportunities presented by emerging technologies, and empower them to approach the evolving financial landscape with confidence. And that's really what Boston Sea wanted to do. Stop this year. Everybody all right? Yeah, it was a lot. Just bring the anxiety down, deal with the inner, instead of going to outer space, go inner space. Live from the inside out. There's a lot of things going on. You got lot of help. How about that? In you, around you. Just yeah, stay in the way, stay on the path, and just be thinking and living in the mystery of one's character, because everybody sees everything. That's the problem that we're having below the sun, is you can see people's character for what it is, but you don't see your own. See, that's the mystery, because you give up your own for another character, and Boston Sea will leave it there. And that's how to live above the sun. All right, y'all be good. And until next time, Boston Sea, up and away. Shalom.